So I thought we would try a different kind of video. I had an idea this year, since we were doing Michigan's first ever self-reporting of our deer harvest, that I would capture the data throughout the season so that I could get a better picture for what deer season looked like in Michigan. So what I did is I dropped data weekly into Excel. Every Friday I dropped the data in. And I chose Fridays because I wanted to make sure I captured the prior weekend's hunting data. Assuming that there was going to be a lot of hunting taking place on the weekends, I wanted to make sure that the prior weekend was captured within that weekly total. I just grabbed my last data yesterday, which was February 3rd. This is what the DNR website showed as a total. However, every time I dropped them into Excel, Excel had a slightly different number. So there is a slight error within the calculation within the DNR's database, but it's very minor. Just thought I'd point it out because we're going to keep this all real here. I want to say this as nicely as possible, that this number, our number from this year, is data. The prior year numbers for the last 4 seasons, I pulled those out of the Michigan Deer Harvest report so that you can see what they are. But I will say this, these numbers are estimates, they are guesses, and in a lot of ways they are opinions and politics. This number is data. And I'm going to back that up by saying I know a lot of people who hunt in Michigan, lots of deer hunters, and I talk to them every season. I know very few hunters who ever participated in these numbers, but every deer hunter that I know that I have talked to this year who was successful did participate in this number. So it's a small sample size, but nonetheless, I feel that it's relevant. So breaking this down week by week, our first couple weeks of reported data was from the Youth and Liberty Hunt. And if we take a look at that, we'll see that our total was 3.2% of our deer harvest was the youth hunt. Now I know that there's a lot of controversy, a lot of differing opinions about the youth hunt. So I really wanted to point this out so that you could see that it is a small number. I know that a lot of really nice bucks get shot early, especially this season because our youth hunt was a week earlier. We had velvet bucks out in the open, and there were lots and lots of photos of young, smiling hunters. And so congratulations to them. It was 3.2%. So remember that if you're ever feeling uneasy about those early seasons. The archery hunt was actually a little less than what I thought it was going to be, archery season, especially this week right here, because this is the week ending October 28th, that Friday when I pulled it. And I feel, and I know a lot of other experienced bow hunters feel, that around October 25, October 26, there's a pretty big switch that flips in the deer woods as far as the pre-rut goes. And I really thought that this number, on a calendar year basis, I thought this number would be the highest week of October. And I was wrong, because it certainly was not. In fact, I thought this number would also be larger too. Our cumulative total through archery season, prior to firearm season, we were looking at the 28% number. So I figured we'd be probably 35% harvest archery season, and then I figured our firearm season would be less than where it came in. Our firearm season starts, and we have some really big numbers the first week, as expected. This second week number was very surprising to me because I thought that, a lot of people only hunt the first few days of firearm season or the first weekend. Here in Michigan, our firearm season opens on November 15th every year. So it's a midweek open a lot of times, and then the first weekend people get out. So 24%, 20%, and even the last week of firearm season going through November 30, we had almost another 10% there. So that was very surprising to me to have that big of a total. 55% of our deer harvest was during firearm season. Very surprised by that, especially being an avid bow hunter and knowing lots of guys who bow hunt and knowing lots of guys who bow hunt successfully prior to firearm season. This was a big number. So the next thing that's really surprising to me here is this first week of December. 4%, almost 4.1% the first week of December. I thought this is probably just carryover from firearm season, people late reporting, but then the next week of December was still just about 4%. In fact, look at this. This is almost 4.1%, and the youth hunt is 3.2. More deer shot the first week of December than through the youth hunt weekend. I never ever would have guessed that. In fact, if we take a look at this, 12/30, and we go December 2, so this would be December 3 through December 30. And then if we look October, and this would be October 1 through October 28, actually 27, because I grabbed it the morning of the 28th. Wow. I never, ever would have guessed that there were more deer shot in December than shot in October in Michigan. That's very surprising to me. Now in December we have muzzleloader season, we have our second firearm season in Lower Michigan, where they call it muzzleloader season, but you know what I'm talking about now with the new rule changes the past few years. That's just shocking to me. More deer in December than October. Those crazy crossbow hunters just aren't getting it done, are they? All right, well, these are the numbers. This is our data, the data that you participated in, the data that I participated in. Maybe these numbers will help you to make some decisions about when you want to spend time outdoors next season. We are one of the oldest hunting channels online, and we appreciate your support. Thanks again for watching, and good luck in the woods.